Oh, now she wants to come on here. Now you want to show up. Okay. Really?
Hey, Ruby, baby, I'm sorry. You gotta forgive me, baby. I'm sorry I was late for our date. You know I love you, sugar. You know I love you.
Well, you know what? Not having it. We're not having it today.
What about these abs? Will that change your mind?
You should just wear that shirt everywhere.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the pectoral breast thing that I've got going on is legit. And my nipples are in my armpits, so that's what you get from...
Stop it!
That's what you get from ordering, like, cheap online. I just spat. I got overexcited and I spat. I thought it's only fair if I look like this for a while after what happened to you. I left you hanging, dressed as
I guess I should have just messaged you and been like, "Hey, are we dressing up for this interview?" I could have done that. I just assumed for some reason that you and I were on the same page about this.
How? But I cannot believe how I have been cackling nonstop. Because it's kind of like, even though we're grown-ass humans, you have that moment where you like felt like you didn't dress up for like a school thing, or like you did.
That was the moment I had just now. Listeners, you will see and hear when we introduce Jessica Parra, our special guest, onto the show. But let me just explain what happened, okay? Because Melanie and I are recording this right now, just after we finished recording with our special guest. Let me explain something, listeners. Melanie made a blood vow to me that we were going to dress up. We were going to dress up for this interview. She made a blood oath about maybe 6, 7, maybe 10 months ago.
At least that we were 10 months ago. That part is important, listeners. We made a verbal agreement in DMs.
And I stuck to it, damn it. When you say something, I stick to it. And I was prepared. I came with the wig. I came with a whisk, with a cotton ball to look like whipped cream.
Yeah, well, don't put any of it away. Honestly, I thought you forgot. I didn't see the apron. I didn't see these things happening. I didn't want to like put the pressure on, but I was secretly thinking, are we going to recreate the cover of our dreams together? So don't put anything away, because I'm fully expecting you to get some poses in to recreate that cover.
Fine. And in that cover creation, you have to have that side nipple, because she
it's fun here too.
Why did they print it? Why did the nipple go into the armpit?
Because I'm a cheapskate and I bought it for $5 off eBay. It was this, or the next thing up that I liked was like a silicone body piece for like $200. And I was tempted.
Hey, do you have any pictures of your mom? Because in my mind, I'm picturing that hairstyle. Does your mom rock that style?
I'm gonna say this. No, my mom doesn't. At one point she did. When we were in high school, she rocked a short do like this. But I was gonna say this kind of scene makes me look less like a hot teenage boy and more like a middle-aged Karen.
That wig is giving Karen. It's giving Karen. Oh, she's back. Oh,
I kind of look like a superhero now that I took that off. It's a very confusing look. I'm going to leave the shirt on as penance for what I did to you.
So because I logged on late because I was trying to record on my iPad and I couldn't figure out how to do it. So anyway, I was getting on my computer, so I was like a couple minutes late to logging on with you guys. So I log on, and before my screen pops up, I see you in your civilian clothing, and I thought, uh-oh, should I just rip off everything? And I said, you know what, I'm committing. I'm already in. The fro stays on.
I'm so glad you did. And you also look adorable with that little bouncy wig.
Thank you.
It definitely ages you to like it looks like a high school, like bouncy, I don't know. It was giving.
I wanted this hair in high school. I kid you not. I wanted because I have like wavy curls, but I didn't know that I had curls. And so I would always brush out my hair. And so I just had a big poof. Like I was just a poof. And I always thought, oh, I want to have like those like kinky curly hair.
My hair is dead straight, and I always lusted after curly hair too. There's just something and beautiful about it. I was always jealous of it. But they always say that whatever you don't have, you want. Like if you have curly hair, you want straight hair. If you have straight hair, you want curly hair. But we have wigs, so I'll send you my wig when you feel like having short hair.
I think I'll pass on that one.
Next time I'll style it. But now that I know you're ready, just know I am here, I am there, I am everywhere.
Well, welcome officially to the show, listeners. We are just thrilled because we had our special guest, Jessica Parra, who is mentioned and brought up and talked about nearly every episode of the Publishing Persuasion. So, I mean, it's only fitting that we have her on before her book comes out and kind of to celebrate our 2-year anniversary of the Publishing Persuasion, which is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Mel?
I feel so happy and proud. Like, much like how quickly our episodes go by, it's gone by so fast. Like, it doesn't feel like 2 years, but then also chatting to you on camera now feels so natural that I know it's been 2 years, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of cool to see like these two, like our journey as introverts into podcasting land. And you're right, it was just so right to have Parra on as our official 2-year podversary guest. And I don't even know where the time went. And I mean, I have to stop saying that because I say it every time, but I think we were all shocked today when the timer kind of ticked away.
Yeah, I feel like we got to like 5 questions on our 12 question list, but they were everything that she had to say, which I'm sure we both already assumed it was just going to be fire. Yeah. But she had so many amazing things to say and just very real and honest things to say about publishing. Yeah. And it warmed my little heart because it really is this strange business where you don't know what the hell you're doing at any given moment.
100%. My heart just gave like, and I think that's the thing, when we hear other people say that, our body's like, oh, it's not just me who feels like this is just like a messy, peculiar, like there's not really one straight path to do it industry. Yes. And like, I think it is a relief hearing people you trust say it, because when you're in it, I would never imagine that someone like Jess Parra would feel like out of her depth or confused by the industry at any point, because she is the knowledge queen. And to hear that, I'm just like, yeah, but that's just how it is, isn't it? In this industry, there are those moments where nothing makes sense and you just kind of have to go with gut, and even gut doesn't lead you to where you think it will sometimes. So, yeah.
Damn. Shoot. And I just think when I first started writing and first started querying and all that stuff, I mean, I just think back to what my dreams and like what my goals were when I first started. And it was huge goals, right? My goal is to sign like $1 million deal, to be famous, to have my book turn into a movie. And it's going to, because it's so great. But, you know, your goals shift as you learn and as you understand that those sort of things are kind of a 1 in a million sort of deal. Of course they can happen, but to make that be the, like, if I don't have this, I will not be satisfied. I think it turns into a dangerous game, because you're going to have a really hard time finding that satisfaction, because this industry is so hard and it shifts, and you shift and all of those things. And so so I think for me, even just talking with Par, like during this episode, it's just kind of I always kind of go back to that, like remembering the why. And, you know, the why for me is not, I mean, of course, I'd love to have $1 million. That'd be wonderful. I mean, I'll take it right now, actually. Please. Actually, please. Please.
We still put in a lotto ticket every now and then, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
No, heck no. But it's like, it's not like I'm gonna win this $1 million ticket. Damn it, you know. It's like, wouldn't that be fun?
And that's the thing right there, isn't it? You've got to be happy already to enjoy that stuff when it comes. And what you've said is so wise and so true. Like, if you have these really specific expectations, you're almost guaranteed disappointment, because life just doesn't work that way. It's like, expect the unexpected, right? And sometimes the unexpected is even more beautiful and wonderful than you could have imagined, you know? And my gosh. Yeah. I think it's just this, isn't it? That's what I'm realizing more and more, that like part of the journey is accepting the unexpected parts, growing ourselves as well. So we're kind of like, know what we really even want. You know what I mean?
That's good, Melanie. That was good. That was a good one.
I've been watching Jewish Matchmaker on Netflix.
I saw that in your stories.
It's so good. It's so good. But one of the things one of the ladies said, she was like, I just think it applies to life in general. She was like, you know, she's like, someone once told me, like a grandma or something, that you'll know when you're ready to get married when you would marry yourself.
Ooh.
And I thought that's so wise, because it comes down to like loving yourself, knowing yourself. And it's kind of an indirect relation, but it just reminded me of that, like knowing who you are and, you know, what you want to write, what moves you. Even like this week, I've been reading that silly, delicious alien porn book you recommended. And like, I fully expected to just lol. Like, to just think it was just purely ridiculous. And it is. But I also found myself thinking, you know what? I'm gonna just call it. I'm just a simple bitch with simple needs. I'm basic. I don't like expensive wine. I don't have elevated taste in books. I really am enjoying the alien porn book. Thank you.
But here's the thing, so many others have. You know what I mean? Like, there's something about the simplicity, but also there's like complex things happening within this smutty book that just keeps you wanting to read more. And who cares if you're enjoying it? Like, freaking listen to the book. And that's Twilight for so many of us, right? It's like, it's not the best, but damn it, it kept us happy. You know, it gave us something good. And I think sometimes we try to read or write things to, I don't know, like look a certain way, or because that's what other people are doing. But is it making us happy? Nah, I want my alien smut. Damn it.
Yeah. I know it sounds ridiculous, but like that's it. That's it right there. And I shouldn't even say that. I shouldn't even play us down by saying it sounds ridiculous, because it is just joyful. And you're right. I keep thinking this isn't good writing. That's not true. It's great writing because it does the one thing, the only thing that I think is important. And that's that quote I said the other day, hold my attention. That's the only rule of writing that matters, is hold my attention. And like, that's something when everything else falls away when I'm writing, because I get so confused with character arcs and plots. I can never keep track of all of it at once, to be honest. I get so lost in it all. But the one thing I always carry through is like, what would make me not put down this book now? Like, what do I want to see happen? What's exciting? And that she does masterfully. And you're right, even when it's not the sexy smut scenes, it's very interesting. There's like this like base need to survive. So you're like, shit, are they gonna survive? And like, she kills off other characters, so you know she's not above it. You know, at any point anyone's could go. So yeah, like, it honestly, like I said before with the manga novels, I'm really finding that recently my priorities, like with reading and content, is shifting back to like what it used to be. And reading this reminded me when I was a teenager and I found what I now realize was the adult fantasy romance section. This kind of shit that was like some fantastical barbarian with their soulmate. And yes, I love the sappy soulmate shit. I'm here for it. And I should stop pretending that I don't love that just because it's not trendy, you know?
Yes. Hell. Yeah. It is trendy though. If you think about it, look, I mean, series is everywhere. The series is everywhere. And there's, you know what? This makes me like want to just find more.
Yeah.
I mean, I know she's got a ton, but I'd like to find some other ones. I think there's like a Mothman one that I'm really looking at. Yeah, but I have to look into that.
We'll find more.
I love this because we used to be readers first. And it was so fun to be just a reader and to just love a good romance or whatever it was and just be lost in it. And I think for the longest time for me, it's been really hard. I mean, yes, I'll read books and I really love them, but a lot of them are also friends' books. And so, you know, I'm looking at it through maybe like a friend's eyes or whatever it is. And I love it so much. They're all so great. And I want to, you know, give reviews and all that. However, I feel like sometimes I miss the just reading for the sake of just reading.
Yeah.
Getting lost in a world and
100%. And that's why I'm grateful. I'm actually genuinely great, as much as I'm taking the piss. I have to just laugh at so many parts because she just goes there. She just goes there. And the words she picks to use are hilarious. But like, I am actually grateful because it did take me back to that, just like picking up a book off the shelf just because my friend said it was good, just because the cover called to me, just because the blurb called to me, and diving into the words with no preconceptions about what I was getting into and just literally just letting your imagination run wild, you know? And that's it right there, you know, like we were talking about that in our Snoop Kitty DMs as well, about just really what drives readers to books anyway. You know, like there's so much we think matters, but I don't think it does. Ultimately, people just want to be entertained. Just hold my attention, you know, and that might mean something different for different people, you know, but like, I think we can only like really dive into it by being authentic to ourselves, even if that's loving the alien porn book. You know? I'm convinced we need to get our friends together. We need to get Court. We need to get Parra. And we need to just do like a little spicy fantasy anthology. Just like a short story. I actually had a dream the other night of something random. I was like, I could make that into like a little short smutty novel. So I think we need to gather. We need to gather our people and write a short, smutty, maybe Pitch Wars 2020 class, smutty fantasy anthology.
That would be so fun.
Right? Okay, let's make it happen. I don't know what you have to do to make this happen, but like, I feel like we have a lot of talented friends who would just live to write a short, smutty story.
I have to agree. My brain is already working.
Yeah.
I am already living for this. It's
Right?
gonna happen.
Let's do it. We'll find a way to make it happen, I think. So put it on your calendar. You heard it here first. Pitch Was 2020 class Smut Anthology is coming next year.
Oh, she is. Okay, it's happening now.
It's happening.
She signed. Well, you know what, guys? I don't know if I trust Melanie because she also told me we were going to dress up for this episode. So, we'll see about next year. Okay.
Haven't you forgiven me yet? Isn't it satisfying? For those who can't see me, I just have on the most ridiculous shirt. You can't even believe how terrible it is. My nipples are in my armpits. My belly button is down my trousers.
Okay, anyway. I forgive you. I forgive you.
Thank you. I have a complex about being forgiven, so I needed that.
Okay.
But how have you been otherwise?
Good. I feel like I went back and I started, like, I think I talked about this last episode, but I went back with my current new whip.
Yeah.
And, really worked on the characterization, their backgrounds, and I'm pretty sure I will have to rewrite all. Yeah, pretty sure the 40,000 words or give or take that I've written, there's like good things there, but I got it a little wrong. But I don't think I'm going to do it yet. I think I'm just going to keep going and see where I get. Thank you. And in the meantime, I will do my vision board and let that lead me.
I love. It's very smart, and it's like fail safe to not like freeze up too much writing it. And I think like that I realized that when I was drafting as well. I was like, oh no. I like even something random. I was like, how did they get here? They didn't have a car. And the whole way I've written all these chapters as if they were driving on a road trip. I was like, when did they get the car? Melanie, it doesn't make sense. But instead of going back, I just was like, okay, from this point, write it as if they don't have a car. And when you go back, you'll naturally snap it back. But yeah, I didn't go back either. I can go back and change it later. It's not important now to go back and be like, this character isn't there, this isn't there, but just to go from where I am. So I think it's good.
It is. And I feel like even as you're writing, we come to this point, okay, I realize I'm shifting, and I think obviously the back half needs to change, but who knows what will change again once I get to the end.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I'm not going to stop, because I've already shifted so much because I've gotten to know these characters that who knows when I get to that ending if I'm going to be like, oh, that's not going to even work. So I'm just going to keep going and let it happen. My goal, honestly, I want to finish this by mid-June.
Woo! You can do it. I have faith.
Thank you. How about you? How are you doing with yours?
Slow.
Yeah. There's a deep breath that just.
I know. I had unexpected news this week, unwriting related. We had like some inspection, and I was like, why are they coming to measure our, like, it's a little piddly nothing apartment. I was like, why are they coming to measure the cupboard? And last time the agent was here, he was like, do you want us to rip out the bath? And they're thinking of renovating the shower. And I was like, why are they wanting to do all these renovations? I was like, it's like literally fine, like for what it is. Why do they care? I should have been more sus. Anyway, so they were like canceled the thing on me last minute, the measuring maintenance guy. And they're like, actually, don't worry, because the owner's daughter has decided she wants to move in. So I was just like, so that's probably going to keep me a little bit more busy, because I probably have to start packing. They only gave us 2 months to move out, which is like not a lot of time. But I gave myself yesterday to be emo, especially I got my period after this news, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done today. Nothing is happening. I'm feeling sorry for myself. I'm eating ice cream. I made a chocolate cake and I binge watched Jewish matchmaking and I have no regrets. But then today I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's going to be a newer, even better opportunity and we're just going to roll with it. But I'm honestly just like taking Mommager's advice. Like, I'm really not pushing this one when it doesn't feel right because I do feel like I needed a bit of a break, you know, like I really pumped to get Soul Swapped and Beyond Love out into the trenches. And I'm really proud of those books, but like kind of just consciously not trying to like push past the days I feel like, oh, I'm not in the mood, you know? And there's days when I'm on fire again. I'm like, I'm going to finish it by next month. So that's coming back slowly too, as I've taken more time off, but I'm trying to like balance the two because I think it probably was getting like a little bit unhealthy, the balance that I was having. It probably wasn't balanced, you know, the way that my days were set up. I was like just writing and editing all day. So, and like we said in our DMs, like that really got me through in lockdowns. Like, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have those projects to work on in lockdown. But yeah, just trying to go with the energy at the moment, cut myself some slack and grace to just be. And and do kind of silly little things like listeners, our amazing Mommager guest today, I did make her own line of merchandise in our merch store, which this is going to be Parra week on the podcast. So you better be prepared to only hear more because she is a part of this podcast. It wouldn't exist without her. I certainly wouldn't have had the idea to do a podcast if it wasn't for our Mommager Parra. So doing little things like that has been giving me so much joy lately. So I am doing a bit more of that. But yeah, I'm still really excited and passionate about this project. And honestly, I think I've just missed writing YA. It's just slow. It's slow burn for now.
And that's perfect and beautiful. And some people take like years to write a single story. In just a few years, you've written multiple. So I think a little canter is fine right now.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to take the gas off. It feels like unnatural to me. And I find I'll have like panic moments that I need to check. I'll be like, is something wrong? Am I losing my mojo? Like my brain will throw negative thoughts at me. But then I'm like, no, that's not true, actually. You're just looking for balance now. But sometimes balance is like not the easiest thing to do. It feels unnatural, but it also feels really healing, you know?
Good. That's it, right? That's beautiful. And it's going to show in your work too. You know what I mean?
So I'd like to think so. And even just this time has been so precious to me, coming back to my anime, coming back to like reading Smutty Aliens. Like I just caught up on Demon Slayer and my days, that shit is so good. Like if you're going to start with any anime, maybe start with Demon Slayer because it's also like a newer one. But like I just watched it and I was like, it just has my whole heart, like everything about anime and everything about Japanese culture. It resonates with me so deeply. I'm just like, sigh of like relief, you know, that these things are filling me up in different ways now, you know?
Yes. I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad, honestly. Yeah. It's beautiful. And it's one of those reminders that there is life outside of the hustle of trying to publish and all of that. So getting out, doing crafty things, taking walks, it's all so good for you. And just to think, you know, beyond I need to write.
Yeah.
And it all gives you inspiration in the long run anyway. So it's, you know.
Exactly. That's so true. And it has to be sustainable. You can't be sprinting the whole time. That's what I'm realizing. Like this, like just in general mindset, like it's a marathon, you know, like I can't magically push. Oh.
Well, my computer just crashed. It's the weirdest thing. I hope it's okay.
Yeah, shit. I told you, didn't I? I warned you that the Parra episode would crash the servers, and it did.
Sure did. It took us out. It took my computer out.
I probably needed it. You know, my monologues get a bit ranty, but was like,
my computer said, no, we're done. My computer just gave up, so I'm tired. Done.
No, it's probably for the best. You know how ranty I get. And I wanted to ask you about Sinner's Isle Corner. Remember, I don't want to forget. We're going to do Sinner's Isle Corner every week. I want you to tell us one exciting thing or something that you liked leading to debut.
I do something, yes, but I don't know how to get to it. I had I'm sure last week I mentioned NetGalley, that it's live on NetGalley, right? Yes. So that was really exciting. And okay. So I knew a bunch of people that had, submitted a request to get an ARC on NetGalley, and a lot of them were denied.
I saw that.
I know, and I was devastated because a lot of them I was like, oh, I can't wait for them to read it. Yeah. Like we know each other, it'd be so fun, and they're really excited. So when I saw that, I was like, did they like deny everybody I know somehow? But some people did get it, so it wasn't just a personal attack on me and my friends. But I do have something in the works that might possibly be fun for those who didn't get an ARC. So keep your eyes and ears open if you were devastated that you didn't get an ARC, because possibly I don't know, I'll possibly have something to offer. So that's, yes.
Very cryptic, and I love it.
Thank you. I tried. I didn't want to like jinx myself and say they were coming and then they're not coming. But they're not physical ARCs, though. I don't get too excited. But they're still really
too late. My excitement has got carried away. I want to share my Sinner's Isle Corner right now, and I feel like it's only appropriate because of the guest we had on. One of my favorite things I saw this week for Sinner's Isle was none other than our Mommager Parra's review that you posted. So I want to read it because it was one of my favorites. Sinner's Isle, come for the pirates, stay for the toppling the patriarchy. With lush riding and swashbuckling and swoony adventures, Sinner's Isle had me singing, yo ho ho ho, a pirate's life for me. Ho as in both kinds of ho. Love this book, and so excited to see what worlds Montoya takes readers to next. Jessica Parra, author of Rubi Ramos Recipe for Success.
I know.
She just captured it.
She did. She did. It made me so happy when I saw that.
Yeah.
She left it on Goodreads, which we get into Goodreads later on in the show. That's where I saw her review, and I was like, I have to post that. So thank you, Mommager, for that review. It was really special.
It was special. Man, I really wanted to try something. Can I work out how to share my screen? I wanted to I had something else that I forgot to do last time. Do you know how to screen share?
No.
Because I heard you were very talented at something, but I might have to work out.
Next
time. I have to work it out for next time. We're running out of time anyway, and I want there to be time for you to do it. And I have to share my screen for you to do it.
Well, shall we introduce our...
Oh my gosh, yes. I did want to ask you about what season of RuPaul's you're on. But see, this is the thing. I'll have to save some stuff for next time. We're too chatty this ep. We'll see if we finish the bio in time. You can tell me what you're up to.
Okay. I don't have it on mine because my thing died. So
and it's sabotaged. But no, it would be an honor to read my dear Mommager, who I often say is my stand-in agent. Like I don't know what I would have done without her, to be honest. Over the past few years, she's more than an icon to me. She is in fact Mommager to me. So
she's like a grandfather that we never knew we needed.
Yes. I love that. She does have that energy of like a benevolent, like grandparent that just like has your back, eh?
Yeah, she gives off grandpa vibes, 100%.
I love that. So, dear Jessica Parra, as a lawyer and daughter of Guatemalan and Cuban bakers, Jessica Parra never objects to an extra slice of cake. She is a Los Angeles native who loves to write about Latinas with big hair and even bigger dreams, complicated families, cats living their best lives, all 9 of them, and the healing magic of acceptance. When she isn't drafting books, you can find her sipping kombucha, cuddling with her kitties, or co-piloting the Millennium Falcon at Disneyland's Galaxy Edge. Rubi Ramos' Recipe for Success is her first book. And yeah, I wish we got to talk more about her Disney. Like, she is a Disney queen as well and a Star Wars queen. Yeah. Like, she's iconic, really.
She is. She is an icon. She really is. We'll obviously have to have her back on. I don't think we could have her on enough and get all the words out. You know what I mean? So I think we just have to make this more.
Yeah.
We just have to have her on more often.
And Para's right. Let's get all 4 of us on next time. We can have all 4 of us on for a special episode.
Oh, that'd be really fun.
Yeah. Okay, let's pencil that in. I'm so down for that.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Oh my God. I am freaking dying right now. Can you hear me?
Yes. I just flashed you. I got so excited.
Okay, now I can hear you. Mercury retrograde is like fucking up my jam and everything is like not working right now. So, but I'm glad that I'm here. I cannot flash you right now because I'm not wearing anything under this. So maybe after we stop recording, I will.
I'll probably regret it later. It was just my impulse. I was like, Mommager is on the show. I have to flash my boobs. It's the only possible.
So mad because I'm like, how? Oh! Paul, I love the look because I don't think you guys know this, but I like have like a fetish with like curly wigs. So it's like I collect them. So it's like right now, it's like you just like turned me on even more. Like this is.
I thought we were dressing up. What happened?
Oh, we were. Well, Melanie flashed me.
I flashed my titties, although if I
even brought
Wait, how was I meant to know we were dressing up?
That's the whole thing, Melanie. I thought we had planned this months ago.
That, Melanie, that wig is less Ryan and more Chucky, which might be like more on brand. So I love the effort. But Angela, where did you get that freaking wig?
From Amazon.com.
And of course you look good in it. Of course you look good in it.
I mean, that jury is still out on that one.
No, I love it. I love it. But I am so happy that I'm here. I do feel bad though, because I'm like, should we just like invite Courtney? Like it feels so wrong without her in a way. So I think like maybe, I don't know, we could do like once a year, we could do like a drinking, like sort of like eavesdropping theme on like our group chat where we just like talk shit and people could like listen for like 30 minutes of us just like talking. That would be super fun.
That feels so right.
Yeah, I think it has to be done. Should I take the wig off?
No, I'm also in love with you. I think this is the cutest shit I've ever seen.
So cute. And then the apron. Okay, so for the listeners, because oh my God, I've been wanting that one. It's like that. Okay, Melanie, it's like for like the people that aren't Disney adults and are only listening to this, Angela is holding up an apron of the Tres Caballeros, which in my room right now, I have like the ears, the Mickey ears, and they're maracas too. So
yes.
Like, yeah, I love it. I love it.
So cute.
Well,
Sorry, Melanie.
No, I think we're just I knew our energy would just literally explode the internet. We're like 3 sisters. We're going to be talking all over each other and it's going to be perfect.
It is. I love it. I'm so happy to be here and be with you guys because I feel like, okay, first of all, to like the listeners out there, like I am so excited to be here because when I listen to your guys' podcast, I'm like, are these people being like, who is this bitch that they're talking about all this time? So listeners, this is Mommager speaking right now. I hope everyone is having a great week. So I am Parra, Mommager, the legend, the icon that like does have like some like spicy cameos on the show pretty often. So it is I am here.
Yes.
The myth, the legend that is Jessica Parra. Yes. I mean, it is so funny that we probably bring you up at least once an episode.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, it's great because it's like sometimes I'm like just like, you know, like so into the conversation and I'll pop up and it's always like something like usually it's something either helpful or like very inappropriate and it just like it makes me laugh all the time. So thank you guys for like always boosting me and loving me. It's been like I think the best part of Pitch Wars is just meeting you two and in court, like it's like our little family, and then everybody else that I've like met after the showcase that I've become like super close to.
Yes. No, I mean, that was the most beautiful thing, absolutely, was meeting you guys and just all that came from it. And I see Melanie just keeps smiling.
What's on your mind?
I can't take her seriously because she didn't tell me she was dressing up today.
I just assumed.
She's expecting my ADHD mind to remember 6 months ago when we said we should all dress up. I can't even remember what I ate for breakfast yesterday.
Me neither.
I have been thinking about this for 6 months. I have been plotting and scheming and I was ready. I just assumed you would have your shirt off.
I know.
For the listeners. But that's okay. But no, it's like such a full circle moment because you were our first guest.
Yeah.
You are like our unofficial third host. And here we are 2 years later celebrating your book getting ready to launch into the world.
It's like a couple days.
Yes. It is so beautiful.
It's wild because it's like today I was like thinking about it. Like I'm like, it really has been 2 years almost. And now we're here. Like, look, you can't really see it because of the background of like my thing, but it like the inside of the like the front of the cover has like a little whisk and it has Ruby's initials in gold. And there is recipes in there because I know we're going to talk about this later about like the people on Goodreads coming for me of like reading arcs and getting mad that there's like no recipes. It's like, there's recipes. You just need to buy them. Like they're here. Calm down.
Yes. Yeah. The arcs are a little different than the full-blown book.
Yes.
Yeah. But I don't blame them. The people are going to want recipes after they read this. I mean, I've been looking up gluten-free conscious recipes, and I'm just like, I need this in my life.
You do. They're really good. I'm going to have, because it's like, this is like, I just did like an interview yesterday too. And they asked me about like taste testing. And I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't do any taste testing because I don't even have a sweet tooth. It's my sister who is like the baker. So yeah, like it's like with like the recipes and stuff, like I would of course do like research and like smell and yeah, we're going to have like probably cameos from like my cats. I don't know if you could see them through the screen. But yeah, like she's the one that like she like loves making gluten-free stuff. So she'll make a recipe like specifically for you.
Yeah. Aw.
And is she gluten-free or she just likes to?
She likes doing all kinds of like, like alternative like baking and stuff. So it's like at the bakery, because it's like she owns and runs like the bakery that Ruby's bakery is inspired by. And so it's like the stuff that they sell there is like more traditional, but it's like, since, I mean, like, you know, we're LA millennials. So it's like all about like the kombucha and the gluten-free and the sustainable and the paleo and all of that. Like, so she is trying to make everything, have like alternative like recipes for them, like the people that are like our age and like younger who are into, you know, all that stuff. Make it accommodating for everyone because everyone should enjoy conchas.
Yes, that is real. I cried the other day. I found like a quintessential Melbourne cafe that had proper like pastry and stuff. If no one told you, I wouldn't have believed it was GF. Like that, there's a real need for that for us
There really
people
is.
who are challenged with certain foods.
Totally. Yeah. So it's like that's going to be in like the future. So it's like when that happens, I'll like send you guys like the recipes. So that's in the works for her for sure.
Like,
Yes.
okay. Well, let's get right into it. Let me take off my weave real fast. It's funny because I had this on and my daughter was like, "You look like a señora," you know, like, yeah. She's right.
Oh my God.
But okay, so how are you feeling? Like the book is getting ready to launch. How are you, Jessica Parra?
I am getting finally excited a little bit. Like it was like the other day in the group chat where like Court was like, oh my God, we're like a week away from like launch. And I had just completely forgotten, like, because it's like people don't realize like in publishing, like you're working like a year ahead of schedule. So it's like I am deep, like book 2 line edits are due on the 31st. So I'm just so enmeshed in like the new story that but yeah, like I completely forgot for a second, but it is like exciting because it's like it's happening and yeah, it just feels like a new chapter in my life, like just like the culmination of everything. I think it will be just like a celebratory moment because like the last 2 years have been a hellfire of shit and piss. And so this is just like one little moment of like, okay, like pushing through all of that. It's like now, you know, people could find it and I could like look at it on the shelf and it's like, yeah, it's there and I'm like ready for more now. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I can't even imagine, honestly, what the copy now is like because I read it back in Pitch Wars and I remember thinking then, and this is no lie, like I remember thinking then this is better than most of what's already on the shelf as it stood. And so I can't even imagine like how freaking perfect every word is now. And I'm so it's still one of my favorite books and I think it will always be. It's just the world is not ready for this book. Well, they are. Their bodies are ready. Their hearts are ready. I'm just so excited that it's come to this point, and I know that you've had a slog and you've pushed through. And yeah,
thank you so much. Yeah, it's been like a lot, and even yeah, it's wild how much work goes into it, and I think that like for people that are thinking about like pursuing publication, like I didn't know the amount of edits and work that goes into a book. So it's like the version that you both read. I did like 2 small dev edits after that. Yeah. And then I think there ended up of like between like the copy line proof, literally 5,000 changes because yeah, Mommager, she might know the law. She does not know English grammar. So it's been tough where it's like my editor on book 2, it's like in this line edit. Yeah. She's like, we're getting the freaking grammar down now. So then it's like less work later because it was a lot. And so even I like a lot of the influencers and that I reached out to that, you know, I have like a parasocial relationship with, I would like warn them, like, I'll give this to you, but you have to just like be gentle because I do not know how to spell. And we did like arcs very early. So before I did like a lot of the edits. So there's just like things in there that I'm just like, yeah, that's maybe one of the things I'm going to ask them to do, to like maybe hold off on arcs until like after we do like some of the some more the production style edits because it's bad. It was bad.
I feel like we just need to normalize that writers can't spell. Like it's I can't spell. And like, to be honest, I think I've said this before, but like my friends delight in like picking out how badly I mispronounce a bunch of words. Like there's so much stuff that I just say wrong. It's like, they're like, well, you're a writer, you should know. But we don't. There's a lot of words in the English language. A lot of them don't play fair. And I just, we need to normalize it.
We need to know. Yeah. And then there's like things too that like I learned of crutch words and things that I say all the time. Yeah. And so it's like in this like edit, she gave me like a page of like, watch out for this because you say this every other word. And I told another Pitch Wars friend, Gretchen, shout out Gretchen if you're listening. And so she's like, no, I'm just going to step that because that like for voice. So I was like, yeah, but like, I don't think you say totally as much as I do. So I need to cut back.
I had so many crutch words. And then like after the first round where I cut a bunch, which were really random, I used heart, like I don't even know how many times. And then weird ones, like I would start a lot of sentence with it or all. And so I all the time. And so I cut a lot of those. And then this last round, I switched things apparently. And then I went to different words, trying to be clever.
Yes.
And, you know, my editor, I was like, girl, you're still.
Yes. No, I did that too. It's like when I would like it would rewire to something else. So it would be like, I would swap one crutch for like another. So it was like, yeah, like for Ruby, it was like chin, like the tipping the chin, like the chin this, the chin that. And in this, it was like the shoulder. So it's like weird stuff.
Isn't that funny though? I'm laughing so hard because it's me too. Like a lot of the tipping of the chin, a lot of the, you know, little shrug. And apparently I need to like look at people more and see how they move their bodies, because I'm always like, their eyes did this. Their eyes are always doing something.
It's like so like you can't see it because of this, but I had to buy the emotion thesaurus. So let me see if I can get it like, no. Thesaurus. You can't see it, but in this, so it's like a book and it has all of like the emotions, and then it has like the physical signals, internal sensations, cues, and then that's like now my cheat sheet. So it's like now I just am like ripping that off, like straight up like plagiarizing this thing up, because it's like I'm just like I don't know, like like I don't even know like what feelings are anymore, like physical reactions, since I'm just at a computer all day now.
Or you could do what the Ice Planet Barbarians chick did and make up Quee. And then every time they feel anything, their Quee can vibrate in response.
I listened to that episode the other day. So is Quee penis? Like, what is Quee?
It's like the inner spirit thing inside of them, but it's like you know, it's like part of them. It's like their soul, I guess.
Yeah, but it's also a parasite, isn't it? Like they have to kill this animal to take its Quee, and then the Quee keeps them alive on this planet that has like noxious gases in the atmosphere. But it's like anytime but the Quee responds to his mate. So anytime she's near, his Quee vibrates. But I'm also just convinced that like it only matters to a point, because I swear this chick does every error in the book, right? Like she repeats words, who knows how many chin tips she had. And yet when I posted about this book, the amount of people that were like, oh, that's on my list, or oh, I've read that.
Yes. It's like super famous. Like it took like Book Talk by storm. It's like I think it's like a series. So there's like
10 of them.
Other like aliens. I think it follows like, are they brothers, or there's like chicks that are friends, and then each one is like about something else, right? And like a different.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because they're all part of like the same tribe. I want to call it. I don't know the proper like what they call themselves. The Ice Planet Barbarians, and then these chicks from Earth crash onto the planet. And so I'm sure it's just all of their different stories, and it's good. I don't know.
Down for that. I would be so down for that. Like that would be like my first crush ever was Dr. Spock. So it's like it was like when I was a kid and I saw him, like I am turned on now. Like it's like it's always like my sexual awakening at like 5 was like Dr. Spock.
Oh my gosh. Well, so we were at Target yesterday and there was a stuffed animal. You know the show Gargoyles? Do you remember Gargoyles?
Yes.
My daughter was like, who is that? And it was the main gargoyle. And I was like, oh, it's a show I used to watch. And in my head, I was thinking that was my man. Like growing up, I was just like, oh.
Yes. Okay, my man animated was Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yes. Like I wanted to freaking like marry him. Like he was so broody. He was so hot. Like I was just like into him.
Me too. And don't judge me, Alvin from the Chipmunks.
Oh, I loved Alvin. I loved him so much. Although Theodore was like the one in the green, right? He like was like the short one. I liked him too because he was like the goofy one.
Oh, well, hey, everybody's got their thing, you know? I mean, I'm here for this conversation, and I think everybody else has been waiting for a conversation like this.
Yeah.
To be honest. Oh, how about Robin Hood from the animated
Stop. Yes.
film? He's
Like,
hot.
so hot.
So was Maid Marian, though. I think I liked her better. Yeah. No, I'm down for all of them.
I love it. Well, I feel like now that we're talking about great characters, I feel like it's the perfect time for you to tell our listeners what your glorious book is about. Give us your Mommager Parra pitch.
Oh my God, I am so horrible at pitches, so I will just keep it like I even had, this was like we could get into like later too, about like Goodreads, but so this is, I'll say, and then if you're interested, go and like look it up, like it's fine. But if you like Great British Bake Off, picture like a Great British Bake Off set in OC meets A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow. So we have Ruby. She's a high school senior and she like loves baking, but her parents, they're bakers, they're Cuban immigrants. They want her, to like chase the American dream. And they want her to go to the prestigious Alma University, and she gets waitlisted though, doesn't tell them. And while she has to get like math tutoring from this guy over here, surfer hottie Ryan, to help her get off the wait list. And while all this stuff is happening, the first annual bake off comes to town, and she wonders, does she have what it takes to become OC's best amateur baker? And so she finds out, like enters it and finds out, and then shenanigans ensue. So I really try to keep joy, centered at it, and hope. But then I think I also wanted to like hit on like diaspora and like a first gen struggles. And I tried my best to make sure that the parents also had arcs, because I think sometimes, like we could learn from adults, but adults sometimes also learn from kids. And yeah, so it's like a journey for Ruby for sure, but it's also like a journey of like this family as a whole and like the parents individually. So that's a little bit about Ruby. And like my version of Paul Hollywood is hot. Like he's got full sleeves. He like he's just like hot. So I love that because yeah.
It's a perfect book. I mean, like Melanie said, we read it ages ago. I can only imagine just how absolutely breathtaking this book is, because really when we got out of Pitch Wars, it was ready to go. And so I can only imagine where this book is at now. And I cannot wait for everybody to get their hand on an actual copy with recipes and beautiful inside cover. It's so pretty when you showed us her whisk on the inside.
It's such a beautiful job. Yeah. Like Wednesday has like, Petra Braun is the illustrator and Olga is the designer. And this was just like, they sent me like a cover, when we had like a cover console, it's like, they send me like a concept. It was just like a very rough sketch. And from like the sketch to like, this was like the first thing. And I was like, that's it. Like it's perfect. Like it gives like, for those like old enough out there who remember Lisa Frank, it's got like Lisa Frank vibes. And one of the things like I said that was like, I wanted to do is like, when people think of like the beach, they think of like the blue water and like the blue sky, but there's like so much more. And so I'm like, let's bring out the other side of it, like the oranges, the yellows, like let's make it like as vibrant as possible. And yeah, they nailed it. It's perfect. And when you get the real book, like you'll see on Ruby's, on her little apron, it's like shimmery. Like it's
cool.
So it's cute. Yeah. So it's not actual glitter, but I don't know how they did it. It has like a shimmer effect on it.
Oh, cool. I'm so excited. I mean, I pre-ordered this bad boy
Yeah.
had to have been 6 months ago. So I've been waiting, but it's going to stand out on the shelves too. Just those colors, and they're so pretty. So I can't wait.
And we snuck a nipple on it. So Ryan's nipple is out. So there's yeah.
Yes, free the nipple.
Yes.
Well, what has been like the hardest part of this, journey, this publishing journey?
That was a really good question. And I think that's like the one that I like try to really think of the most. And I think for me, since I am one of those people that just like needs to know everything, like I have to research like everything, go on like every Reddit board, everything. But publishing, there's like a lack of transparency to a point. So I think there is so much information about querying, but then after that, it's like crickets.
Yeah.
So, and then so it's like weird to give like general advice to everyone, because every house and every imprint also does like things differently. And then depending on where you are on the, on the list, if you're like an ultra lead title, mid list. So this is all to say that like at each part of it, like your journey could be different for every single book, so for me, what was most difficult is that, I didn't get to know what questions to ask until I was thrown into that pond, if that makes sense, of like the different things. So I feel like now I'm better prepared for like book 2, because a lot of it's like, you guys know me, I have like no fear in like asking like the hard questions, or, doing X, Y, and Z, asking like, just to get informed, but I didn't know what to ask when I got to those things until I was like thrown in. And then the steps move so fast that then it's like, okay, now we're on to like the next step. So that was it wasn't difficult, because I think I navigated it okay. But for someone like me, who is a very type A and needs to know everything, it was a little, jarring, I guess, because I'm just like, okay, getting my bearings. And then it's like, and then again, for like book 2, it could be completely different, because depending on like what Rubi does or doesn't do, then like things could be different. And the turnover rates in publishing houses are so unfortunately high that even though like now I have, like I have it rigged with like my team, it's like that could change if it's a different team, in next year. So it's just, that is difficult, that you just have to like hit the ground running. But because there isn't that much information out there, and again, the information that is there, it doesn't apply to everyone universally, you don't know where to run. So I love hitting the ground running, but I had to take a term from you guys, canter, and so that for me was uncomfortable, because it's like, I am a let's freaking go and like do this type of girl. So like cantering and like getting, it was weird. It was weird. I don't know if like for Angela, like that's been your experience too.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, as you were talking, I was just thinking how much I appreciate you saying all of this, because it's so true. And then like you were, a few steps ahead of me in the journey. So when I did have the next step, you would send me an email of all the things to ask. But you're right. Like those things to ask are not available.
They're not
to people. And it's true. There's so much about querying, but it's like, once you get to that point, then what, then it's like, then some of the hardest stuff really is coming at your way. And it's true. It's like, you have to pivot and be able to kind of like the Matrix, this kind of stuff that's just like shooting at you, and then it's not coming all of a sudden. It's like I'll get emails and got to do this, and that, and then I hear nothing for a while, and then you just kind of like, okay, well, I'll work on something else while I'm not hearing anything. Exactly. And it's a really, really interesting process. The whole thing.
Is. It's really weird, and that's like another thing that like if we just want to get into like a quick like advice. One of the things that I've learned from that though is to like stay flexible and also be okay with your needs changing. So because that was like one thing too that like I didn't think going into it, like it's like going into this like entire journey, it's like I was like very set on like these are the things that I need, and like very business, just like business oriented type of person. But then yeah, like the pandemic happened, and like my life like personally went to hell. Like legit, like half of my family like died within like a period of like 14 months or so. So it's like at that point I needed more like emotional support, which is like something that I never thought I would need ever, especially like in business. So then that's something too to like consider of like your life could happen, change, or yeah, like your needs could change. So just have that in the back of your mind of like, okay, are these people, whether it's like an agent, editor, house, whatever, are they going to like provide like the support that I need if like X, Z, and Y like happens, you know? So that's another thing that like I've learned, and like luckily like Wednesday has been like awesome, and they've been like super supportive of that. So I'm glad, because I'm like, if I had been at a different house, like maybe that wouldn't have happened, and I wouldn't have gotten like the extensions that I needed, or the amount of like hand holding for like book 2, you know, that I needed to like get it out. So that's, yeah, like I think it was like difficult for me to like realize that I didn't need just like the business side of it.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting though? It's funny how it's true, like we're human, and this is a human industry. And you know, I think a lot of times we go into situations thinking, okay, well, this will happen, then this and that. But because we all are in this messy thing called life, our needs do shift. And I think like watching your expectations and like, I need this to happen or I'm not going to be happy.
Yes.
Like we'll screw with you because this thing probably isn't going to happen. So you're going to have to find another way to be happy. And everything you're saying is just so dead on. And I just,
it's the thing with expectations too. And like, this is like one of the things that I learned too, is like, I don't think that one book could hit all of the expectations, especially like as a debut. Cause it's like, you think, oh, all of these things. Oh my God, do we have like 8 freaking minutes left?
Yes.
What's it called? That's wild. But yeah, so it's wild because that's like not going to happen. Like, so that is just like, you have to accept it. Like as a debut, like some people do get like the unicorn thing and have like the $1 million advance and like the, you know, like the movie deals and like whatever. But then maybe like those aren't going to get the awards. So even those books, you know what I mean? Like so it's like the expectations. Yeah. Like for me going into it, it's just like, now it's like, okay, like I did the work. I had like a team of people that helped do this with me. And I'm just like excited to see like where it goes. Cause another thing, since we were going to talk about like reviews, maybe we could like sneak in some shade.
Yes,
but it's like, I was like thinking about it and I'm like, it doesn't feel like my book, because it's like, like at one of your questions, like we'll just get into it to like end this like on a shady note. But like about like Goodreads, right? Like you guys like asked like if I ever like looked, and it's like, bitches, you know, I'm fucking nosy as fuck, you know? So yes, I looked, but caveat, I could handle that shit, right? Like I was like laughing because it's like, and I've told you guys this before in like DMs, like nothing a stranger on Goodreads or whatever is going to be worse than like what my parents have told me. So let's be real. Like I could handle that shit, you know? But yeah, like it's like I've separated myself from Rubi in that like, yes, like maybe like the nexus of the idea like originated from me, but it's like literally been touched by, I was like trying to count, and I think it's like over 50 people between like betas, design, editors, assistants, where it's like, I'm just like a part of that. Like, it's not even really mine. So it's like, I'm not going to get like, it doesn't seem like it's like it came from me, but it's not me, if that makes sense. So I think, but I could do that. A lot of people maybe aren't as old as me or have had like better parents that, you know, like they get like maybe more butthurt by like a bad review. But then when I saw that question, I like went and like looked, right? I like went and started like, and then I was like doing like my analysis because that's who I am. And then I was like, okay, but even the reviews, they're not even, well, nothing is ever personal, I really don't think. And one of the things that I did too is like, since it's been so long since I've read Ruby, I would like go and be like, I would use some of the reviews for like my synopsis, like to prep for like interviews, to be like, oh, what is this shit about? Like, I don't even remember what it's about anymore, you know? So I would be like, oh, so like, yeah, these themes. Okay. I remember. And for the most part, I'm like, you know, like it's gotten like positive reviews. But yeah, sometimes it's like, you could even like use it to like to do copy or prep for like interviews and stuff.
Genius. So smart.
So smart.
It is. And I'm even feeling that now, like a lot of the conversations we have in the group chat really do help me and like kind of like separate. It's at this point, it's a product almost, you know? Yeah, of course we love it. We put so much work into it, but it is a product for people to consume and to pick apart and do whatever. And that's for them to do. They purchased this, they got it. Do whatever you want with it. And honestly, like for me, it's been, I mean, I'm still kind of working on Sinner's Isle, but there's enough space between all these edits and where I'm at now, where I can look back and be like, they're right. I could have done better on this. And so I'm like, next book, I'm learning. And I just hope like Sinner's Isle is great for where it was in my life, but I'm hopefully moving on and doing better. So like when I saw my like first real 4-star and I was reading and I was like, she's got a point.
Okay, but 4 stars are
bitch having a crisis about 4 stars. That's like a great review. It is. Anything about 3 stars and up is a great review on Goodreads. Like, and even sometimes 2 stars, they're like, I would recommend it, but you know, wasn't really my thing. It's only like the really salty ones. It's like, you know, if they've got one thing to pick apart, but they still gave you 4 stars, they loved it.
They did. So, but, and I know people might come like at me and be like, okay, this is not for you. So I did do this partly like as research, but it's like, I was like amused by it. Like, I don't care. Like, it was like, it's fine. Yeah. There was one that like, I wanted to like clap back at, but I didn't. Where there was like one, but and some I like literally laugh. Like there was like one that like gave me like a 5 stars, but she was like real salty about something. And I laughed, like it like brought me joy. So I'm like, okay, yeah, if people are salty about something, then that means it like elicited emotion. So I did my job and everyone did their job. Like it's fine.
I love that. And I just like laughing. I mean, like whatever is going to make us have joy and bring laughter, do it. Like if reading salty reviews is like something that makes you have fun, absolutely do it. Yeah,
I agree. And before people come out, like it's like, no, I think everyone's looked at least a couple times. Come on, it's like looking at an ex. Like you don't want to, you don't want to like engage, but sometimes you go, like, I'm human, I'm gonna go and like look. And yeah, there was like people that like wrote like a really good like synopsis of it, where it's like I was like, damn, like I want to, I like use that for like an interview.
Yeah, that's such a good point. People love to pretend they're all elevated and they're above the gossip, but when it comes to the proper chisme, you're like, give it to me. I need to see the receipts. I need the photos of the people that they're with now.
Yes, no, totally. And I know that they're freaking looking at mine too. So it's fine. Like you can see who's looking at like your stories.
Well, that's why you're always looking sexy in all your shots, in your Star Wars fit and all that. Are you going to Star Wars tonight?
I am. It's like the last night. I have my and so tonight I am meeting Anakin and Queen Amidala. I am so excited. So it's like I couldn't go 2 nights ago because I had to be like working, but every day like I've gone like a different like character. So we have like less than like a minute. I have like my Vader.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, and I'm super, super excited. Yeah. My sister is like already there. She's gonna be like in line. So we could do like that photo shoot. So I'll post them later on tonight. So
Yes.
oh my god, okay, we're gonna get cut off. Like how did this
I don't know. It went too quick, but yes, you look gorgeous. Go have some fun. Thank you for making the time to come and chat with us today. We're just gonna have to have you on again, like sometime during debut. Like, you know, you're welcome anytime you want to come on.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to come on like probably when I reveal the cover of book 2. So maybe for like Latinx history, like kickoff month, like we could do that because that is like I go deep into like hard Star Wars and like Disney stuff. So yeah, and I hope that this is helpful to people. I feel like we just like blabbed about other like
it was perfect.